About an hour from Prague is one of the miracles of the Baroque fortification engineering. A fortress so good that the enemy didn't even try to siege it. A fortress which covers an astonishing 400 hectares. Which place am I talking about? Let me introduce you to Terezín. Terezín was built as a response for the wars of the Austrian succession, during which Maria Therese lost a large part of Silesia to Prussia. Her son, Joseph II, decided to spend an astonishing sum of 12 million gulden, almost an entire empire's yearly revenue, to build a fortress which is going to keep the Prussians off our borders. Terezín was truly an international work. French, Dutch and Italian influences all came together to create a fortress which is made out of 250 million bricks, has a unique water defense system and also loads of underground mining tunnels used to blow the enemy up on the surface. An interesting thing about Terezín is you can't really see it from the outside, as it is dug onto the terrain to create as little target as possible, so the enemy had no idea what to aim their cannons at. If they would get into the fortification modes, the water engineering is absolutely marvelous. First of all, each part of the moat can be flooded with water separately, and it can be flooded all the way up to 3 meters of depth. Apart from the water moat, Terezín has 34 kilometers of underground tunnels. They include the defense corridors for the infantry, eavesdropping galleries where the defenders could quietly listen to the enemy trying to dig in, and also upper and deep mines, which can be used to blow up the enemy up on the surface. On our tours to Terezín, we take people to a local museum which in detail describes how the whole fortress worked, how the people lived in here, and also gives you access to part of the fortifications where you can learn how genius the whole fortification system was. Besides that, the museum can also give you access to things and buildings which are normally off the public, such as an old military hospital where was also treated one of the most famous prisoners of the World War I, Gavrilo Princip, the assassin of Archduke Ferdinand and his wife. But Terezín also has a dark part of its history. In fact, that's how most of the people know Terezín. In World War II, Terezín was chosen as a transition camp for the Jews before their final deportation to the real death camps. During the World War II, the small fortress was used as a prison of Prague's Gestapo. Over the course of war, around 30,000 people went through the small fortress, mostly used as labor force, here in Terezín or in the nearby underground factory. After a long day of work, the prisoners would wash their uniforms in a steam machine, put them on while still wet, and go to sleep in the big, cold mass cells. This way, many of them would get sick and die. And the biggest irony of all, at these 2 yards, the men's and the women's yard, thousands of people suffered and died, while just behind this wall, SS had their nice, spacious flats, beautiful garden, a swimming pool and a cinema for their own entertainment. In October 1941, Reinhard Heydrich, who was appointed as Lord Protector of Bohemia and Moravia, decided that Terezín is going to be used as a Jewish ghetto. The choice was simple. It is built as a fortress that is very hard to get into, but also very hard to get out of. The walls of Terezín could be guarded very easily. The first transport with Jews arrived in December 1941 already. Until June 1942, they lived here along with 3,500 civilians. The ghetto was run by the group of Jewish elders who were under the command of the SS, who were trying to persecute the Jews by numerous humiliating laws. For example, Jews couldn't walk on the sidewalks, They could not own any money, and also whenever a member of SS was passing by, they had to stop, take their hat off and bow. Hunger, poor nutrition was present at all times. Even though life in Terezín was difficult, everybody was afraid of the transports heading from Terezín to east. Transports where their relatives went and they never heard from them again. Over the course of war, there were in total 63 transports that left Terezín with 88,135 people on board. Vast majority of them had not survived.